Hi, Judge Andrew Napolitano here, and you are on Freedom Watch with my good friend and colleague from the mountains of West Virginia. He sees the prompter. A simple hillbilly turned massive intellectual to be reckoned with for Stirewalt. He's Fox News' digital politics editor and the co-host of I'll Tell You What with our mutual friend Dana Perino here on Fox News, and a dear friend and colleague. Chris, welcome.
Judge, thank you for having me in your chambers.
Always a pleasure. So, about 12 hours ago,
yes,
we learned the outcome of the election. In your view, Donald Trump win it, Hillary Clinton lose it, or is it not that simple?
Well, let me be geeky for a second. I don't want to waste a bunch of time on data, especially dead data. But here's what happened. Barack Obama outperformed the average of pre-election polls in 2012 by about 3.3 points. He bounced up at the end. Donald Trump outperformed an average of pre-election polls by 3.5 points.
Does that say about the polls, or does it say about them as candidates?
We are a data-obsessed culture. When we used to ask, is it going to rain tomorrow? And that was pretty good if you thought it might rain tomorrow. Now we want to know what's the percentage likelihood of rain at 4 in the afternoon.
All right. How did so many of the polls get it wrong? You and I and all the people we talked to did not see this train coming.
Well, I could have told you and would have told you yesterday at this time that here were two outcomes with an equal statistical likelihood. Donald Trump narrowly winning or Hillary Clinton winning by 5 or 6 points. Both of those things were in the realm of the data set about what was in there. We can only get it down to a certain point, and when a race is close, it's going to fall somewhere in that bandwidth.
Did she have a message other than her last name?
She had a message that she was not Donald Trump, and she thought that would be good enough to mobilize Barack Obama's coalition. Remember, Donald Trump won the election with fewer votes than he won the election with fewer votes than Mitt Romney lost it with. So he did worse than Mitt Romney, but still won the election. What does that tell us? That tells us that black voters, Hispanic voters, he did better with Hispanic voters than Mitt Romney did, but in large part it was because the Obama coalition stayed home.
You're Donald Trump.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. President, you lost the popular vote. Is the system rigged? You lost the popular vote and you ended up as president.
No, it's not rigged. Now it's great. It's fantastic. This is the best.
I couldn't resist. Is Hillary kaput politically forever?
Yeah, she's run twice and heartbreaking losses twice, and she is not a millennial. This is probably the end of the process for her. The truth is, no one has had a worse run of luck you can't call it all luck because she did most of it to herself. But in terms of 2008, prohibitive favorite, she goes in against Barack Obama and she gets upended. And then in 2012, in 2016, Democrats said, who could lose to Donald Trump? No one could lose to Donald Trump.
Are we going to see the same Donald Trump in the podium of the House of Representatives at a State of the Union, or are we going to see the same Donald Trump in the White House press room as we saw on the campaign trail?
We all learn lessons from what we do. Do we learn the right lessons or the wrong lessons? The Donald Trump who came out after we declared him the winner was the right Donald Trump for the country. The President Obama and Hillary Clinton reciprocated today by coming out and being gracious, by praising the Constitution. What did you think it would get to get Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama to wax poetic about the Constitution?
I didn't hear the Constitution mentioned during the whole campaign, and if I had, you and I would have discussed it.
You would have flagged it, but there was Hillary Clinton talking about the virtues of our republic and the way that the system works and praising it.
So does Donald Trump drop things like, I'm going to sue these women for libel, I'm going to change the defamation laws so that I can sue people who criticize me when I can prove their criticism is untrue?
I assume he will. You know, the presidency, we have this imperial presidency. Right?
Yes, we do.
And
thanks to both parties.
Both parties, and the creation of an administrative state that legislates as well as executes.
I wonder if he knows he's got to deal with an administrative state he might not be able to control.
And that is 2 million civilian employees spread out across the globe. The history teaches us that men and women generally, or that men so far, grow in office when they are given this enormous responsibility. That so far we have not had one who has derelicted it. We can talk about Nixon, but basically as we look at these men as they come through and as they go out, Barack Obama is definitely a different guy leaving the presidency than he came in.
It is an enormous responsibility to question you about your area of expertise in front of a camera, and I thank you for it, my buddy.
It's a privilege, Judge.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
I'll see you in D.C. From New York, defending freedom, whenever they let me, Judge Napolitano. See you next time, America.